Whoa. It's a week of wrestling. I don't know what I'm doing starting these things sometimes. I'm just like, we're just starting it. Here it is. Matt's on the other side of the country. No, not even on the other side of the country. I'm in New Orleans. I'm like
No, I'm maybe
not that
eight
far
hours
anymore.
from you.
Yeah. Anyway, there was a bunch of wrestling this past week. We had Slammiversary a week ago Saturday. We had Money in the Bank. We had live crowd with live Raw. We had an NXT. We had a taped NXT, which has some repercussions from Raw on that one. But let's jump in. Let's talk about some Slammiversary. Because that was the farthest away. I generally enjoyed the show. Honestly, one of the highlights for me, Chris Sabin versus Moose. It's not something that I would have put on the top of my list going into the show.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got to say that was probably the best match of the show. I think they over teased on the surprises,
Yeah.
and it led to some disappointments here and there. Good to see that Chelsea Green is healthy. But yeah, Moose and Chris Sabin put on a clinic. That was just an excellent match.
And they showed that if a roll up is done the right way, it actually could be like, oh, this is a good, acceptable ending, especially because Moose is just such an imposing dude and Chris Sabin's such a much smaller guy. Like, that actually makes sense. It makes sense, like how the 1-2-3 Kid rolled up Scott Hall, or Razor Ramon on that Raw, and to basically create that guy's whole career, Sean Waltman's whole career. So a roll up done the right way can do it. It's just like this WWE's over reliance on it these past couple months has been ridiculous.
The key to it is to not end 4 matches on a 6-match pay-per-view card with a roll up.
Yeah. Other things that popped out for me, the Super Canadian Destroyer.
That was nuts.
Ultimate X match.
Yeah.
And it just in general, P.D. Williams, the innovator of the Canadian Destroyer, like when he does it, like I get it. I understand who it's affecting. Like while like half the time when I see people do Canadian Destroyers, like who's this supposed to be hurting? Like I'm not entirely sure. So yeah. What else jumped out for you?
The crowd pop that No Way Jose got. I think was the most surprising part of the show to me. I mean, he's fun, but that place, even though it looked like a bingo hall with like 85 people in it, that place got loud as shit. Like I was a little shocked at how big of a pop he got.
Yeah, I think it is a little interesting with that. Like I think maybe also it's the fact that there weren't as many surprises as we thought. I think if we had, in an alternate universe, we had Samoa Joe, we had like Daniel Bryan, these people showing up on Impact on Slammiversary, like No Way Jose would have gotten like a nice little like golf clap, and that would have been about it. But like on this show, it's like, yeah, like he was one of the legitimate, like actual surprises on the show. So kind of makes sense. We had Omega retain, which I think we kind of predicted is like, oh, maybe now's the time where he starts losing it, and maybe there's some cracks in the armor. But maybe at this point, maybe it's actually Hangman taking that AEW championship off of him, and then he starts losing everything else. But I don't know. I don't know what this timeline is.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, I know that All Out is. It's kind of hailed as like their WrestleMania, but truth be told, like, what's the one in February?
Revolution?
No, it's not. No, Full Gear. Full Gear cards each time are fucking awesome. Like, I almost think they put a little more effort into, like, they go a little overboard with All Out, and honestly, with Full Gear is always the best show. I mean, you got that unsanctioned barbed wire hell match between Moxley and Omega going through signs and bed frames wrapped in barbed wire and just all that nut shit. I mean, I don't, and it may just be me hanging on rumors, but I don't know how you start shelling out money for both Punk and Daniel Bryan, and they're not in the big highlight spot at All Out. That's a whole lot
Yeah.
of fucking money.
Yeah, I guess that's another story this week is the fact that we probably it looks like it's a done deal. And like Omega's having interviews where he's basically someone was asking was like, "Oh, what would it be like to wrestle them?" And he was like, he throws in like a, "Oh, maybe they're coming to AEW" at the very end. Like he's already talking about it like it's matter of fact, and he just throws in like, "Oh, well, if it happens, maybe." And like, no, he's already kind of
Young Bucks update their Twitter bio that just says, if the rumors are true, I hope they like eating our finisher." So I mean, I'm honestly, I like the way they've built Hangman, where he's kind of like everything's going his way, and then he ends up down and out. Like, I think the idea somebody steps in and takes his spot and sends him into another spiral, I think it could just build more long form. I mean, I don't necessarily know that you want him to face anybody other than Omega for that belt, but at the same time, that the best stories they've told, like more long form, have been everything's going great for Hangman, and then it tanks, and then everything's going great and it tanks again. Like, that's been the best part. So I don't know. At this point, I love how up in the air everything feels. It's, I certainly love how up in the air it feels compared to knowing Bobby Lashley hopefully is going to thrash Goldberg at SummerSlam. I mean, I want him to beat his ass worse than he did Kofi.
What a great segue.
I mean, Jesus.
What a great segue. So we got Money in the Bank that happened on Sunday. Overall, again, also a really great, you got a hot crowd and overall a great show. And, those with 2 Money in the Bank matches really delivered and was really the right way to go. They didn't figure out a way to do a roll up in the Money in the Bank ladder match, so I'm happy.
A giant seat.
But Big E and Nikki.
A giant CGI Lily didn't pull the briefcase down and give it to Alexa Bliss. So, I mean, really anything was fine in that match as long as that wasn't the ending. So yeah, we got the 2 crowd favorites.
What did you think about the main title match, that Edge Roman Reigns?
I don't know. I mean, I know the point was to let them have a match, but to inevitably get to a non-title affair between Rollins and Edge. So that served its purpose. I don't necessarily know that it did anything to help the whole Roman being the unstoppable force that he is. That he tapped while the ref was down. Or that he needed Rollins' help to retain, unless there's, they're going to shoot for a Edge getting a rematch at Survivor Series or maybe getting one at Royal Rumble. But I don't know. I thought that it was a weird way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, have Roman come out on top. I mean, not necessarily clean, but clean enough where he stays the unstoppable force that you're building to your marquee Cena, Balor, The Rock at WrestleMania, if they're going to pull that shit off. I thought it lessened his like unstoppable feel, but it definitely started the Rollins Edge thing on the right foot.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed this whole pay-per-view. Only thing I kind of just spaced out on is that tag match, the Omos and AJ versus the, I can't remember what we're calling the Viking Raiders. Is that what we're still calling them?
The Viking Raiders. Are they Are they the Viking Raiders again, or are we sticking with the Viking Experience? I can't remember. That was dumb. I hope it's Viking
uh,
Raiders. But
yeah, I can't remember either.
yeah, that
Uh,
match was kind of the breather, which is wild to say for an AJ Styles match. Um,
yeah.
do you have a favorite match on the card?
Hmm. I'm just gonna have to say I love the Money in the Bank ladder match just in general. Like, and in this case, although I loved Nikki Ash winning, or Nikki Ash, whatever you want to call her. I liked. I really love seeing Biggie pull that briefcase down. I I really hope they don't like screw that up with his cash in, but the joy that everyone got like in that arena, that I know that I felt watching in my hotel room here in New Orleans, that everybody else did. It was the right call, and it was just like a great moment. And I hope he actually gets to like follow through on that, and it's not just some kind of like bullshit, like, he challenges and loses in 3 seconds or something like that. Like that would be
Yeah,
really disappointing. But he's friends with Kofi, and Kofi tends to get yeah, that seems to happen to Kofi. So maybe
I
that'll rub off on him. Who
I
knows?
have to believe that Kofi taking
So
that immense beating was to set the stage for Big E to show up on Raw to challenge Bobby Lashley. Um, I think Big E Bobby Lashley is a marquee
yeah,
match, like more with more emotional investment than anything they're ever going to get out of Goldberg ever. Um, I mean, Randy Orton could literally like burn Goldberg's house down with his family
yeah,
in it, and I still don't think that match would have any emotional attachment. Um, I don't get it, but I've got to believe that Kofi taking that immense beating was build up Bobby Lashley as just he's done with the bullshit, and to set the stage for Big E to come in and cash in on him, like the big brother of the New Day that he is. Um, it's got to be that's the only justification I can get for how dirty they did Kofi.
yeah. I don't know. Well, did you have a favorite match then? Is there anything that stuck out for you?
Charlotte and Rhea Ripley absolutely tore it down, in spite of the fact that that crowd was absolutely awful to them.
That's true.
Um, I mean, the first 20 minutes of that match, all they were doing was chanting for Becky and like booing. And I don't blame Charlotte for like giving the whole audience the finger. It built her. It gave her more heel cred than any of the shit with the crutch that she was doing on Raw. Um, but they crushed it. And I hate these crowds that look. I want Becky back as much as anybody, but Charlotte Flair is amazing. She's the female John Cena, man. Just I know it sucks that she gets booked into everything. I know it does. But she's just fucking good. Just
Yeah.
accept it like you ended up doing with John Cena anyway. Like you've done with Roman Reigns now. Just take it. We're going to get to Becky Charlotte. You're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. Just let them naturally get there. They're working on it.
Yeah.
Um, but Jesus Christ, let these people do their jobs without making them feel less than. Like it's nuts.
A similar question. So if we get if there's a scenario where we get CM Punk in AEW, what happens in WWE to those CM Punk chants? Do they just go away? Do they finally just stop?
No, they're never going away. I think that anytime you see anybody remotely connected to the authority, you're going to get like a "you lost Punk" chant or some shit like that. They're never going away. They're the most irritating chant in wrestling, and they're never going away.
That's probably a good point then. Let's move on over to Raw. We had Goldberg challenge Bobby Lashley for the championship at SummerSlam. We're probably getting that. I mean, we're definitely getting that. They're not just gonna pay Goldberg to show up to tease that he was going to challenge. He's going to challenge. But we also had Karrion Kross versus Jeff Hardy with his No More Words theme song coming back. You know, Jeff Hardy, who's been on Main Event, basically, you know, an enhancement guy for a while. And now all of a sudden, Karrion Kross is there. And Karrion Kross takes a loss. And he didn't look good in it either.
His first.
Yeah. He didn't look good in that loss either. It's not like like he got some good stuff in. It's like, nope, no, there's no Scarlet. There's no nothing. And it wasn't just Jeff Hardy pinning Karrion Kross. It was Jeff Hardy pinning NXT. That's really what it was.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they set Karrion Kross up to fail. Weird choppy moment here. My computer hit a critical error and restarted. But Karrion Kross, I mean, they literally they took everything that makes him good away. He didn't get to show out. You know, you like Kevin Owens showing up on Raw to challenge John Cena, open challenge kind of shit. I know Jeff Hardy's theme song got him a pop, but Jeff Hardy can take a loss.
Yeah.
Your top guy in NXT cannot right now. It sullied everything going on down there.
Yeah. So. It also kind of just killed for me like the thought that, NXT is going to go on the road. They're going to get in front of some different crowds. They're going to get some, which is what NXT needs. But I think like this was saying is like, no, NXT, you know your place, and your place is at the Capitol Wrestling Center or / Performance Center or Full Sail, and like that's it. So I don't know, incredibly disappointing because they desperately need to get on the road, and like they did a taping for an NXT episode, I guess the one they're not going to do live, and they had to reshoot Karrion Kross's segment because they kept on chanting for Jeff Hardy, being real dicks about it, which I don't know, man. It's not a good week to be Karrion Kross. I don't think so, at this point. So, but what are you going to do, I guess? We had Dynamite kind of just... Was there anything... Do you watch NXT this week? Was there anything that popped up on that show, the show that happened this week?
Austin Theory and Kyle O'Reilly had an excellent match. I accidentally read spoilers for the next taped episode, so I'm trying to make sure I don't jump ahead of myself. Let's see. Xia Li took a loss in her championship opportunity, which surprised the living shit out of me. So I guess they're gonna really push Raquel Gonzalez as a monster. I'm excited about that. She went from like, just standing behind Dakota Kai to like being one of the coolest things on NXT. So that was awesome. Eli Drake. LA Knight made Cameron Grimes punch Drake Maverick in the face. So that happened. I guess we're going to get a Drake Maverick feud in this whole triangle, which I'm cool with. Use Rockstar Spud as much as you can, because he's great, he's entertaining, and the crowd does love him, which is good. I think that was pretty much it. I know Hit Row got some time that was not in the Hulu version, but they don't do anything with that damn belt anymore.
Yeah. Well, let's jump over to Dynamite. Honestly, I watched the show. I really enjoyed the show. The thing, that I can't not, the only thing that really sticks out when I'm trying to remember about the show now, though, is MJF's announcement at the end of the first Labor of Jericho. So Jericho did defeat the chairman. The chairman, I don't know. The guy that's really sexually attracted to chairs. And he totally tried to kind of like distract and stuff like that, and Sammy Guevara came out and just pulled totally away, like not even a real like help. But as punishment for that, now Jericho can have no one else show up in the next labors or the following labors, and his next one is going to be a no DQ champ match versus MDK all day Nick Gage, which is really surprising to me. But here he is there, and you're gonna go see that match live. But thankfully not in the front row, and at least against someone that actually knows how to maybe do this shit instead of like David Arquette.
Yeah, I kind of swore that I'd never go to another Nick Gage match, and then I got cornered. Yeah, I'm hoping that the Painmaker is ready for this, because I don't want to see him die.
Yeah,
I was kind of shocked. I didn't think a major company was going to bite off on Nick Gage at any point. Maybe Tony Khan confused him for Nick Cage like David Arquette did. But I don't know. It's surprising to me. It became increasingly more surprising last night as Nick Gage had a championship match at Game Changer.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe not. I was thinking it's like, oh, Nick Gage is he's got a championship match on Saturday night. He's gonna retain, and then maybe Matt Cardona is gonna show up on Dynamite to like get some revenge or something from the match or something like that. Like that's something that the Dynamite crowd would be like for, and technically that would help Jericho, but it's not one of Jericho. It's not an inner circle guy, so that would help out. And maybe Matt Cardona still shows up, but Matt Cardona has that GCW World Championship, which that crowd, man, you gotta. Maybe I'll just actually just link to it in the show notes, because that crowd, it's like Hogan being the third man, NWO stuff, man. Like they're throwing so many things in the ring. Some, old guard in the wrestling community are calling this disgraceful and looks bad for the business, but I don't know. I think GCW knows what they're doing, and they knew. I think Matt Cardona knew, and GCW knew, was like, this could get real bad when he wins, and they were right. But I think they've got a good plan there, and I don't know. I think it's intriguing. That they've got Matt Cardona on the top. So.
He definitely has electric. Like surface of the sun level heat. But I mean, from what I watched, like, dude was covered in blood.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't hold back. It's not like they pussyfooted around, like him having a Game Changer championship match with Nick Gage. Like, he did not leave there without taking his bumps. Just watching him hit the Rough Rider onto the pieces of the light tubes that he had already done looked gruesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like he didn't put everything into it. It wasn't just a gimmick to sell his fucking podcast. Like he gave it his all. So I got to give him props. And then he ate like 9 beer bottles to the side of the head. Yeah. So,
and you know that what this is inevitably going to happen is it's going to be Nick Gage is going to get his rematch. So it's like, not only does Matt Cardona sign up for one match, but he signed up for at least one more match with Nick Gage where he's going to get like cut the fuck up. So like, it's not going to be all like sunshine and rainbows in this title reign. So,
and I mean, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Literally, if he shows up on Dynamite, distracts Nick Gage, so Jericho gets through the labor, just him showing up alone, the AEW crowd might actually buy a Game Changer pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And shit, I'm not out here buying those things, but that's intriguing to me now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, shit, put the belt on him for a couple of weeks and then sell the shit out of your next pay-per-view to get into the black for the year. now that you can actually like have larger crowds around.
Yeah.
That was the other thing too. They had almost the same size crowd as Slammiversary. Like it was pretty neck and neck. So I was a little shocked by that many people were in attendance to see light tubes explode and potential death.
Well, let's close out the show. We got the Fight for the Fallen coming up, which you will be in attendance in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Bojangles Coliseum, which sounds like the most ridiculous Coliseum ever. But we got that 5 versus 5 elimination match, which is a huge headline thing. We had also on Dynamite, we actually had the Lance Archer versus Mox match, and Mox lost that IWGP championship. So we have that against. Oh man, I'm gonna mess up his name, Hukuleo or something like that.
I don't know, a Samoan looking Bullet Club member,
which
that wasn't Tama Tonga.
Which that stare down at the end of Dynamite, that dude is huge. Like Lance Archer is huge, and the guy was bigger.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was shocking because I mean Lance Archer towers over most of the guys he gets in the ring with. So that was surprising.
So you got that match. You have FTR versus Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. I don't know if we're still saying Proud and Powerful at all, but whatever. So you got that. There's probably a couple other good matches in there too, but those are the ones that I can remember right now. It seems like a really stacked card for 2 hours, which is going to be pretty nuts. But you'll be there, and it'll be a good thing.
And apparently Tony Khan's supposed to make an announcement about another pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that could be.
Yeah, it's interesting because I thought they were going to stick to like kind of the 4 that they were talking about, but maybe they're going to squeeze one more in. I don't know. But
I mean, it makes sense. Instead of doing like 35 special editions of Dynamite, you might as well squeeze another moneymaker in there somewhere to bridge the gap in what you've just shelled out in payroll.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the whole pay-per-view event is just like live contract signing of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, and see if anyone tunes in. So this also kind of a little bit here. We're going to take a short break. This is the end of season 2. We're going to end it at 29 episodes and not a nice even number, but whatever you're going to do. We're going to be back prior to SummerSlam. We'll actually be in the same room together while we'll be at friend of the show's Stephen Woodley's wedding. We're gonna squeeze in a couple podcast episodes, but we'll be live in the room together instead of this whole remote thing. So you got that looking forward to. So what is that, like the 21st? So a couple days before the 21st, we'll get season 3 started. So, but it's been a blast, and maybe at some point I'll figure out some ending catchphrase to end the show with between now and then. But as of right now, I still don't have anything. What do you got, Matt?
Like, subscribe, and ring the damn bell. It's a bell, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Which kind of makes sense with wrestling.
Ring the damn bell.
It makes sense with wrestling anyway, so we'll go with it. All right. See ya soon.